The Russia-Ukraine war is a hoax that is causing real people to suffer and die. So I covered this on my old channel when it first started, and even back then I was saying that it was bullshit because it is. That we live in a time where, like I said in one of my prior videos, where you are voting for people or putting people in positions of power where they can just take your whole country, whether you want to or not, and throw you into a war, right? And there's nothing you can do about it. It's up to them what they want to do. And since you gave your power away and you voted for these people or you put them in positions of power to rule over you, then they can do as they please. That's the issue that I have with voting or whatever. I mean, Russia isn't really voting, right? Russia is this guy, Putin. He gets to be there all the time as much as he wants. He's pretty much a dictator, right? But they put this facade that, oh, they chose him as the president, whatever. Who gives a shit? Everybody knows what's going on, right? So, from my understanding, Putin wanted to pretty much annex Ukraine, right? He wants to make it part of Russia and he wants to bring back the Soviet Union. That's what he's trying to do. And he'll throw however many Russian soldiers at Ukraine that he needs to in order to get that done. And he doesn't care who dies in the process, right? So if you're looking at it as a normal person and you're just like, well, Russia's clearly the aggressor here, right? Because everything they've done has been aggressive towards Ukraine. However, if you look behind the scenes, I've heard so many different things going on about what Putin is really trying to do, where there's some corruption in Ukraine he's trying to get rid of. And when I start to look at how everything is playing out and has played out, all I see is the same old played out script, right? Where two countries are going to war for whatever reasons, and they're putting on this show and this display for the world to see, and then they make everybody pick sides, right? So most people that I've seen are siding with Ukraine because clearly Russia is the aggressor in this situation. But I've done a lot of research, and from my understanding, there's more going on behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into that because to me, the bottom line is it's all bullshit anyways. I don't really care what the secret reasons are for Putin invading Russia. I mean, you guys can leave it in the comment sections. I've read it before. And honestly, when I, covered it before, I stopped covering it. I didn't care about it anymore because I was like, the bottom line is that people need to understand. It doesn't matter who you think is right or wrong in a situation. People are dying and people are being hurt and they're losing their homes. They're losing their livelihood in Ukraine, especially because you have this crazy guy, Putin, who thinks it's a good idea to invade Ukraine and take it over. And then you have Zelensky, who is a puppet, who is just basically playing his part as the how do I explain this? He's the sympathetic figure in this, right? He's the guy that represents the Ukrainian people, and he's the one that everyone's like, oh, he's such a great guy. He's doing this, that, and the other. But he's a puppet too. He's just playing his role, right? He's playing the role of the good guy and the defender, and Putin is the aggressor, right? That's just the way it's playing out. That's just the way that they've been chosen to play their roles. But regardless of what their little scheme is that they're doing in front of the world, the people that are dying, the soldiers, the civilians in Ukraine, and all the time, like the families that are being affected and displaced and all this and that and the other, those are the real people that are suffering, and those are the ones that matter, right? And I'm not going to say anybody deserves anything, right? I don't think anybody deserves to be aggressed on or attacked or hurt simply because their country can't, protect them. But when you put these people in power, you allow them to be there and you don't fight back as a nation, because there are definitely way more people that are citizens than there are in the governments, right? And this goes for any government. Whenever you let these governments and these people in government have the kind of power and control that they have, then guess what happens? Since you gave them your power, they can go and start any wars they want. They can go and do whatever they want. And you're pretty much at their mercy. So unless you fight back, unless you stop voting, stop supporting these people, stop propping them up, because I'll tell you how it backfired for the Russian people, right? A lot of Russians really support Putin, right? They really are proud of this man. But now they're being made to look like fools and idiots for supporting him because he looks like a tyrant, right? So normal people are like, well, you guys are supporting this motherfucker. So that automatically just makes the Russian people look bad. And again, I know what's really going on. Like I said, they're both puppets. It's not really the fault of the Russian people. I'm not blaming the Russian people for this. But what I'm saying is, when you have somebody like Putin in power and he's a madman like he is, and he's doing the things that he's doing, then, and you're supporting that, right? And then he does something like this, then you're going to look bad to the rest of the world, unfortunately. You don't want to look bad. You don't want people to look at you that way. Then don't support somebody like that. Don't have somebody like that in power. And I'm not going to say that the United States is any better. What I will say is that I personally don't participate in politics in the United States. I never have, and I never will. Because look who the fuck is in office right now, right? Who's the president? Who's the vice president? That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. When you support these systems, you have somebody like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Who the fuck wants those people? But somehow, some way, he won the election, right? But if you don't participate in that garbage, you won't have somebody like Joe Biden winning the election, right? Or even Trump. I mean, Trump is better than Biden in most people's eyes, but to me, he's still a clown anyway. So I already made a video talking about that. But long story short, all I'm trying to say is take control over your own lives. Stop letting these people in power in your governments, the people that you support, the people that you prop up, do these things to you, put you in these situations, make you look bad, right? And there's no country out there. I don't care what country you're in, or if you think your country's better because you have this kind of system. It doesn't matter. Every country is going through the same shit. You have some kind of people that are in power and control over you that shouldn't be there. And the reason why they're there is because you gave them your power. You voted for them. You supported them. You're not fighting against them. You're not rebelling. You're just letting these people sit there and do whatever they want to you. But I promise you, if the citizens stood up against their governments and fought back and said, we don't want you there, get the fuck out, eventually those people will have to leave. They can't kill everybody. They're not going to kill everybody, right? Because I hear people saying, oh, they have, the military on their side, this, that, and the other. Okay, but they're not going to kill everybody. Because if they start trying to kill people, guess what's going to happen? The people are going to fight back. So they can't do that. But you guys have to fight back. You have to put your foot down and get these people out of the positions of power they're in. And then you won't have the carnage that is going on in Ukraine. No country is, no country is removed from what I'm saying. Every country has this situation going on, no matter where you're at. But anyways, I said enough about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this war. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.